My name's Adam, and I'm an artist out of northern Wisconsin. Today, I got the Neuma 5 tattoo machine, and this tattoo machine might be one of the most advanced tattoo machines on the market. Now, before we talk about Neuma and the Neuma 5 tattoo machine, I want to tell you guys about a new YouTube channel that I created. I made a new YouTube channel called the Tattoo Review Crew, where it's me and a whole bunch of different tattoo review YouTubers, and we are going to be posting content over there. The Tattoo Review Crew YouTube channel is not going to be replacing this show. My channel and the rest of the Tattoo Review Crew channels are just going to be taking our favorite clips from our favorite videos, and we're going to be uploading them over there on that channel. There's going to be lots of behind the scene testing of tattoo machines over on that channel, and all future giveaways on this channel is going to be hosted over there, to where you guys have to be subscribed and following and paying attention to the Tattoo Review Crew channel to get access to the giveaways on this channel. I'll pin that channel down in the comments down below. Go check it out. So what is the Neuma 5 tattoo machine, and better yet, what was the Neuma 5 supposed to be? The Neuma 5 tattoo machine was originally first talked about 6 months ago already, where Carson Hill, the owner of Neuma, went onto the Fireside podcast on YouTube, and he talked about the machine and all the special features and stuff that he wanted to do with it. And on the Fireside podcast, the owner of Neuma, Carson Hill, said that the Neuma 5 tattoo machine was planned to be called the Neuma 5 Play. And as we can see, the Neuma 5 is not called the Neuma 5 Play, it is called the Neuma 5 Flex, which means that they went through some last minute changes before they released it. But that does not mean that Carson Hill lied about anything. They actually did make a Neuma 5 Play, and I actually have an image of it. So this is a product image actually taken from a tattoo magazine, and then I had a subscriber out there in the streets that actually found the magazine. They found this image, they took a photo of it, and they sent me it, and we can see right here, this is what the Neuma 5 Play was supposed to be. I took this image, I sent it to Neuma, and they confirmed to me that this is the Neuma 5 Play. I believe the machine mechanically is the same to what we got with the Flex. The only thing that's different is electronically. I believe the battery is just the only thing that was different, because they decided to go with the critical battery instead of the battery that they would have created themselves. And it was going to be called the Play because these buttons right here are shaped like a play button, and we have fun as tattoo artists. It's like we're playing. In the end, I think we got a better product with what we got here compared to that. The only thing is that it kind of sucks for them that they paid for like advertising and everything, and they went through all that, work and everything designing that. And oh my God, I'm sure they had fun doing it. But, it sucks that they had to go through all that. It's going to be very hard for me to suppress my excitement and how I feel about this tattoo machine until the very end of the video, because I just absolutely love this tattoo machine. This tattoo machine has the ability where you could change the amount of time that the needle is in the skin. Let me show you what the inside of the tattoo machine looks like. This is the Neuma 4 tattoo machine, but the Neuma 5 is very similar. It's almost exactly the same to how this is working here in the Neuma 4. Essentially, you have a motor here at the top, and coming off that motor is a drive shaft, and then connected to the drive shaft is this bearing arm, and then when you put electricity through it all, it activates the motor, making it spin, making the bearing arm spin. Then the bearing arm spins and it goes up this, which is called the waveform profile. The waveform profile is connected to the cam, which is this tan piece right here in the center. The cam then pushes onto the plunger of your needle cartridge, making your needle go into the skin, and then the tension of the needle plunger mixed with the spring right here inside the machine, it pushes the cam back up against the bearing arm. You can then open up the tattoo machine, you can access all those parts that I just showed you, and you can change the cam inside of it. So you could put in any of these different cams, and putting in different cams, you could change the stroke length, or you could change the percentage that the needle is inside the skin. I could go so much more in depth about the Neuma system, but I already made a whole video about it on my YouTube channel, and if I talked about it right now, this video would easily be over an hour long, so I suggest you guys go watch that video. We have plenty to talk about. We're going to do the full unboxing right now. I'm going to go over every single part on this tattoo machine and every single part for this tattoo machine on the Neuma website. And then at the very end of the video, I'm going to give you guys my final thoughts on this tattoo machine. And believe it or not, guys, I've already put almost 200 hours on this tattoo machine. This tattoo machine is crazy, and you're going to want to hear my thoughts on that. Let's go. Everything here is heavily used, but I tried to put everything back to how I got it. First off, we got the very simple user guide, which is just this card right here. I love how Neuma did this guide. It is very simplistic. It's not a huge book that treats us like we don't know what we're doing, and it just simply shows us the parts and gives us the terminology for those parts. Right here, it shows us all the different grips for this tattoo machine, and we will see that it has listed a 36mm disposable grip. At the time of filming this, the disposable grips are currently not out, but we can rest assured that they are currently working on them. On the back of the guide, we will see information about the battery. At the bottom, it will show us how to adjust our needle depth, and then it will also show us how to lubricate our cam. You guys don't have to worry too much about all of that because I will show you guys all of it in this video. Taking a look at the package that the Neuma tattoo machine comes in, we also got some more information on the machine on the back. All the Neuma tattoo machines are pretty customizable on their website, and these are the specs that I got the machine in. I got the machine finish, the 4.2 millimeter stroke length. I got the V3 battery connection and an aluminum body. Innovate, create, empower. As you can see here, I went with the version of the Neuma 5 tattoo machine that does not come with the V3 battery. So if you have a V3 battery or any Critical Connect battery, you can save $200 by going for the option that does not come with the battery. Under the protective foam, we get this box of accessories. Inside the accessories box, I have this vial of machine lube. This vial of lube does come with the tattoo machine, but it did not come inside this accessories box. My lube was leaking a little bit and it fits inside this accessories box, so that's where I keep it. Your tattoo machine will come with 4 cams, 1 that's installed on your tattoo machine when you get it, and 3 inside this accessories box. You'll also get this Allen key. This is for taking off the bearing arm inside your tattoo machine. I'll show you that in just a second. All right, now let's take a look at the Neuma 5 tattoo machine, and we're going to go over every single part on this machine. And we're going to start with the Critical Connect connection on the back of the machine. First off, Neuma is not a partner with Critical Tattoo Supplies. Neuma owns 100% of Neuma's company. Neuma simply licensed the right to use the critical port connection on their machine. And by doing so, Neuma made a genius move. Critical Tattoo Supplies currently makes the best and most advanced batteries for tattoo machines. Because the Neuma tattoo machine has the Critical Connect port, it allows the Neuma tattoo machine full access to the Critical Connect catalog and accessories, which includes the highly suggested V3 battery, the new Critical Prime battery that has the display at the top, the large Bishop battery that you get on the Bishop Power ones, the small Critical Shorty batteries, which are literally like one of my favorite batteries that Critical makes. I just wish that they had more battery life. Or you could use any Critical Connect RCA port like this one from Bishop, and using the RCA port, that gives you access to use an RCA cable if you want to run the tattoo machine wired off a power supply, or it allows you to run any third-party RCA battery on this machine. This third-party battery on it right now would be the Musatoku battery. Out of all the Critical batteries, I suggest that you guys use the V3 battery for this machine. Each Critical battery was slightly tuned differently to the machine that they were built for. The V3 battery is Critical's most advanced battery, and Neuma built their tattoo machine around that battery. The battery features 2 different presets that you could program to any voltage. Holding down on the top 2 buttons, you'll access the settings of the battery. The first setting you could change is the Critical Connect Bluetooth setting, where you could actually connect a Bluetooth foot switch. Next, you got a jumpstart mode. I suggest you leave the jumpstart mode off on this tattoo machine. Then we got the timer mode. This is where you could change your timer on the home screen, where you could either make it visible or not visible. A really cool feature on this tattoo machine is that we have a billing mode. With this mode, the tattoo machine will actually calculate the time it took during your session and then calculate a price for that time, telling you how much you should bill your customer. And right in the settings, there's an option to where you could change your hourly rate to what you charge people. And if you're one of the rare 10% of people in the world that are left-handed, there's a setting on the battery that you could change to make the whole layout left-handed. You can hold the bottom 2 buttons to where you can actually see your run rate and what you should charge people. I personally do not use the hourly rate feature. I just like to collect all the hours on my screen so I can see how much I've tested the machine. I filmed all this a few weeks ago and I'm now over 100 hours on this machine. I waited specifically for Neuma to come out with the large grip for this tattoo machine, which is the 40mm grip, and I tested it, and yes, it is 40mm. If you guys go to the Neuma website and actually go to the Neuma configurator on the website, there is actually a hidden grip that you guys can get for this tattoo machine. First off, I'm gonna show you all the grips. Here's the aluminum and the different sizes. You get 30mm, 33, and 40mm. But if you go down here, you could actually change the grip material to stainless steel, and then you could get the grip in 33mm in stainless steel, which is a way heavier grip. You have to go to the configurator page to get the stainless steel grip. Otherwise, when you're on the main page, like right here, we will not see a stainless steel option. Taking off the grip off the Neuma machine, we're going to notice lots of changes that they made with the Flex machine's body compared to the Neuma 4's machine body. First off, we're going to notice lots lots of O-ring. The O-ring right here is actually an external O-ring used to bag your tattoo machine. Here's a small clip from the Neuma's Instagram page, and in this clip we can see they're using the external O-ring to hold down the wrap on their tattoo machine. It's a very simple, innovative way to hold down that wrap without having to use tape every single time. It is actually pretty cool. And if you don't want to use the O-ring, then don't use the O-ring. Now, taking a look back at the motor assembly, we'll actually see at the front of it is a mechanism cap. Doing a small twist to the mechanism cap, you can remove it, accessing the spring and internals of your machine. Now, this seems like a very simple and obvious feature to hold the spring inside the machine, but they actually vastly improved this mechanism from the Neuma 4, where the spring was located inside the grip. Now, I just want to point out that when the Neuma 5 originally came out, it shipped with an aluminum mechanism cap, and Neuma quickly found out that the aluminum cap was not a good idea. The machine was running, the spring was causing friction to the aluminum cap, causing metallic flakes to build up inside the tattoo machine. Neuma then opted out of using the aluminum cap and switched to a plastic styled mechanism cap that is very durable and cleanable. I believe it's made out of Delrin. The only reason why I'm pointing out that mistake when the machine first came out is because any other company would not fix that mistake. Like FK Irons, they would just double down and gaslight you and say that you're the problem, not the machine. This company actually cares about their tattoo machine, so they fixed it. All right, real quick, I'm going to show you guys a visual of how all the parts work on the inside of this tattoo machine, so when I show you the parts on the inside, you're a little less confused. As you can see, things are spinning, things are going up and down, things are moving. This is kind of how the machine looks on the inside. Diving deeper inside this tattoo machine, you'll see the machine has this black cam on the inside, and we'll see that the cam is mounted on these two guide rods. I believe these two guide rods are made out of aluminum, but they might be made out of steel, and they are both laser welded to the inside frame of this tattoo machine. This is a very big improvement compared to the Neuma 4 tattoo machine, where it had one guide rod and it was about 1/4 the size. Next, by just pulling on the cam, we could pull it out of the machine. And then looking down inside the machine, we'll see a component called the bearing arm. This bearing arm is made out of brass and is connected directly to the motor shaft. And if you go on the Neuma Tattoo Supplies website and you go over to the accessories page, you can actually go over here and click Neuma 5, and then you could choose an aluminum bearing. And the aluminum bearing is $40, and all the aluminum bearing is going to do is make your tattoo machine hit a little lighter, which is going to be better for fine line artists and black and gray artists. It's not something you need though. The brass bearing that comes with the tattoo machine works perfectly fine for all styles. They make it very easy to remove the bearing arm from the motor shaft. All you got to do is take the Allen key that comes with your tattoo machine, stick it through the hole on the machine body, loosen up the grub screw, and then you can pop that bearing arm right off. Then looking down inside the tattoo machine, we'll see the motor's drive shaft. This is probably the longest drive shaft I've ever seen on a tattoo machine. If I was able to remove these 3 screws right here, we would access the tattoo machine's motor. Unfortunately, I believe these 3 screws are super glued in or something because I was unable to remove them. If we were able to access the motor, we would have seen a Fall Harbor 9-volt motor. The motor that Neuma is using inside this tattoo machine is rated up to 4,800 rotations per minute, which is way higher than other Fall Harbor motors that are only rated for 2,600 rotations per minute. The motor also has an 8.5 watt output and 6.8 millinewton meters of torque. With these statistics alone, I believe Neuma's custom Fall Harbor motor is the best motor in a tattoo machine currently. And it doesn't just stop there, guys. And the Neuma's configurator page on their website, you can actually switch the Neuma 5 Flex machine to the macro motor. That's right, guys. The macro flex tattoo machine is already out. It's just a secret setting inside their website. Selecting the macro motor, you'll get a motor that is the same as the other motor, but you'll have more wattage output and even more torque. I would only suggest the macro motor for large scale colored artists. It is a little too much power for fine line work and smooth black and gray wash shading. The standard motor is the best all around motor, and the macro is a special case motor just for high torque situations. All right, now let's talk about the cams. These cams right here are black, and the cams that you are going to receive are going to be tan. The cams here are made out of a prototype material, and since then I have received the tan cams also. I just didn't have the tan cams when filming this section of the video. You can get these cams in 3 different stroke lengths. You can get them in 2.75 millimeter stroke length, 3.6 millimeter, or 4.2 millimeter stroke length. The cams that I all got are all 4.2 millimeter stroke length. And then for each stroke length that is available, you'll receive 4 different cams, one for each stroke profile. The different stroke profiles is 20%, 28, 33, and 40%. The 20% is suggested to be a liner or all-arounder. The 28% is a black and gray shader. The 33% is a multi-pass layering, I'm assuming for color. And the 40% is just very, very crazy. It is considered to be a packer. Here you can see the 20% cam on the left and the 40% cam on the right. And when I flip them over, you can see how dramatic the difference is on the waveform profile on the back of the cam. As you can see on the 20% cam, it has a sharper slope in and a sharper slope out on the back of the waveform profile. And then the 40% cam has a more gradual slope going in and out on the waveform profile. Your needle is essentially following that waveform profile. So your needle is doing the same action that's on the back of these cams. And because of this, each cam feels dramatically different from each other. Swapping the cams in your tattoo machine literally feels like a whole new tattoo machine. Now this is the back of the 33% cam. The back of the 33% cam is the most unique shape out of all the cams. At the end of the video, when I give my personal opinion on this tattoo machine, I'm going to be talking about this cam specifically in depth on why it's so special. Anytime you swap the cams inside your tattoo machine, or every 50 to 100 hours, just throw a dot of lube right here in the back of the cam, and that's all the maintenance you're going to have to do. If you watch this entire video up to this point and you are still confused on how the Neuma system works, I highly suggest you go down in the video description and you click the link to watch this previous video I made on Neuma tattoo machines. Now, what are my final thoughts with the Neuma 5 Flex tattoo machine? It's definitely still a loud tattoo machine just because of the mechanics on the inside, but it's a lot more quiet than the Neuma 4 tattoo machine, which is a big deal for me. The Neuma 4 tattoo machine was just a little too loud. Here's the Neuma 5. Let's have a listen. This is it without a cartridge. Sounds pretty crazy, right? And then let's put a cartridge inside of it. Unfortunately, I only have this big ass cartridge right here, but let's see it with the cartridge in it. A lot more quiet with the cartridge in it, and it sounds a lot more snappy sounding. It sounds actually really good. I love the hum of this machine. Now, a big thing that I noticed is that each cam inside the tattoo machine sounds differently. The higher the percentage of cam that you use inside the machine, the quieter the machine's going to be. So like the 40% is going to be way more quiet than the 20%. Let me show you real quick. This is the 40%, no grip or anything, no cartridge in it. Let's just raw sound. Let's listen. 40%. Now this is 20%. Big difference. Now on the Neuma's website, they have the 20% cam listed as a liner cam and an all-arounder cam, and I do not agree with that. I think the 20% is great for doing line work because it puts the needle in the skin for only 20% of the time, so the needle is going quickly in and out of the skin, so it allows you to move quicker with your hand motion. I believe that their formula and figuring all that out is absolutely correct, but I do not think that the cam is good. Like on their website, it is labeled as a liner and all-arounder. I do not think the 20% cam is a good all-arounder. The 20% cam just isn't in the skin long enough to get like solid blacks with like saturation and everything. It's not good in an all-arounder because it can't do that. You cannot pack straight black with the 20%, and you can, but I definitely wouldn't. You would definitely damage the skin. When you look at all these cams individually, the 33% cam is actually made completely differently. Like how the waveform is shaped it's way different than all the other cams. To my eyes, what I see is that the waveform on every single cam is pretty even all the way around. Like it looks like it has the same slope up and then the same slope down. But then when you look at the 33% cam, it has a gradual like slope up, but then a sharp slope down, which makes the 33% cam extra special. And the 33% cam comes pre-installed on your tattoo machine when you get it. Because I don't know how to tell you guys this, but the 33% cam is just the best. Neuma did some tests with high-speed cameras to see what a traditional rotary tattoo machine is like under the skin, and they have found out that a traditional rotary tattoo machine is in the skin for about 35% of that needle cycle. So the needle is going down into the skin, and the needle is in the skin for 35% of the time, and then it comes out. But Adam, 35% of the time in the skin is very close to 33% of the time in the skin. And you would be correct, but that's exactly why they can't call the 33% the best all-arounder, because if they called the 33% the best all-arounder, then they would basically be admitting that a traditional rotary tattoo machine with the 35% of the needle cycle in the skin is actually the best. Ooh, he said it! I just picture all the Neuma bros at home right now just losing their shit over me saying that right now. The 33% is the best all-arounder cam, and then they are pretty spot on, I believe. The 28% is a good shader, I believe they called it, which is good for like black and gray and stuff. I absolutely agree with that. And the 20% I agree as a liner, not as an all-purpose all-arounder. I believe it is just a good liner. I think it is a specialty cam, specifically good for lining. I don't think it's better at packing color or anything, or doing anything other than lining, honestly. I think the 33% is the best for that, and then the 40% is very crazy feeling because it feels like your tattoo machine does have give on it, and it feels very grippy, like your needle feels like it's gripping into the skin, and it actually doesn't feel good for the skin. It feels like you're actually damaging the skin. I wouldn't suggest using that one at all. And you would think that the 33% is so close to the 40% that the 33% would damage the skin also, but they designed it specifically to retract from the skin quickly. It's almost like a combo cam. It's like a mix of like the 20% or something where it has quick reaction, but it's in the skin longer, so it's actually not bad for the skin at all. I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you guys this. I'm probably not, but I'm going to say it anyways. Neuma is currently working with Critical, and Neuma is talking to Critical to make a software update or a new battery. I'm pretty sure it's probably just a software update to where they can make the tattoo machine motor run forward and in reverse. Now, what that is going to do is allow you to use both sides of the cam. And I believe this is only going to work with the 33% because the 33% cam just looks different on both sides. I don't see how it would work with any other cam. But what we can see here is that the sharp up with the cam will be similar to like a liner, and then the sharp down will be similar to like a shader. So you could run both sides of that waveform. So when you run it, you know, regular, you'll have, you know, the all-purpose cam all arounder, and then you can run it in reverse and then get the other side of that cam, which will give you the liner. So you'll have kind of like a hard liner, soft liner, or like a liner and like all-purpose everything all arounder. I like that the Neuma 5 has the normal style grip because now we can get disposable grips in the future. That was not a possibility with just how the Neuma 4 was made. It was just not possible to do disposable grips with that type of system. With this type of system, it is way easier to do disposable grip. The biggest improvement from the Neuma 4 to the Neuma 5 is basically just everything right here. Just this whole mechanism cap with the spring, holding the spring, like that's crazy. I didn't think about that when they thought about that, and then I seen it, my mind was blown because that keeps constant force down on that cam, which you want constant force down on that cam. So you could turn the tattoo machine on without a cartridge in it. Believe it or not, the Neuma 4, you are not allowed to do that. Otherwise, you would break your tattoo machine. And the specific thing that would break on the Neuma 4 if you ran it without a cartridge in it would actually be one of these rails on the inside. But now it has 2 rails, and these rails are 4 times the size, 5 times the size, and they're laser welded, and it's super durable. You can run this tattoo machine all day without a cartridge in it, and that's a big deal for me. I don't know if I already said it in this video or if you guys skipped it in this video and you got to this point and you didn't hear it yet, but Neuma 5 actually has the Neuma 5 macro flex out right now. It's like a special feature. You got to go into the parts configurator on the Neuma website, and then you could build yourself a Neuma 5, and then you can actually select the motor for it, and you can select the macro motor. Currently, this has the Modus motor in it. You can select the macro motor, which is going to give your tattoo machine more torque. You would want more torque if you're doing like big back pieces and stuff, or if you're just doing color work 24/7 and you just want a lot of unlimited power inside your tattoo machine, and you just want to feel the strength of that machine. I think you guys should just get the normal version of the Flex though. The macro version is very special case. Most people aren't going to need that. I'm currently going to keep using the Flex every single day because it is an awesome machine and it works perfect for the type of work that I'm doing. And if you want to see the type of work that I'm doing, you guys could go over to my Instagram page. It's just Adam Dark Lord. Go over there, see my work, leave me a follow. I know a lot of people are going to ask me down in the comments if I think that the Flex tattoo machine is going to replace the AXYS M1 tattoo machine as my #1 tattoo machine. And it's a very long explanation, and we're going to have to save that for another video. Yo, hold up. I see you there. I see you see you there. If you guys want to support the show, go over to my website down in the video description and buy yourself some merch. We also have digital products and a bunch of different things. Use code DARKLORD for 20% off. Thank you guys. Take care. And now we're just sitting here. And we're going to go. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, comment down below, and like this video. I love you.